Hello, welcome to this video. Today I thought it would be nice to do a Q&A video. I received I feel like this question that I received from Pensieri Rotondi, I hope I said that right, is really relevant to a lot of people that watch this channel. It's something I've been through off and on. I continue to go through here and there, just at different levels of consciousness. So I just thought I would speak to this question very honestly and authentically based on my own experiences. And I thought that this could really help a lot of you guys who resonate with this content. So the question is, I know voids might be recurring, absolutely. Yet, did you have a major one that led you to this career? Yes, I did. I had a major one in the sense that there was a number of factors. For some reason, the energy, the kundalini, my higher self, however you want to feel into it, would not let me work old jobs anymore. I would go into these old sales, try to pick up these old sales jobs that I used to do and make a lot of money at. And there would just be so much heavy resistance, and it was like this energy field of zzz. It was like so much pain when I would try to go back to these old jobs. That I literally couldn't do them anymore. So that was the first thing that happened. And then, of course, that sent me into a place of the void, the huge abyss of the unknown. I didn't know how I would make money. I didn't know what a spiritual guide was. I didn't know I was brave enough at that time to even make YouTube videos or to share content on blogs. That it was like a foreign realm to me. So yeah, I was in this void where I didn't know who I was. How was I going to make money? How was I going to feed myself? And so I went into this deep void, and thankfully I had quite a bit of money saved up. So I could literally afford to do absolutely nothing for a long time. And when I say a long time, I'm meaning like months, not years or anything. So yeah, I spent many months in Portland, Oregon, just kind of in the abyss, trying to go back to old jobs, not happening. And really just what I would do is I'd go into nature every day. And I would just contemplate and I would feel into the void that I was in. And I would start to just allow myself to accept where I was. First of all, just accept like, yeah, I can't do what I used to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And just really sinking into that to start with. And once we do that, once we accept where we are, I find that the right insights start to come forward, or the right connection that's going to lead you to your purpose and your mission here on earth starts to make itself visible in your reality, in your consciousness. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got to this point where the void started creating so much pain internally. Like once I had accepted, like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. Can't do the sales job. And I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Once I accepted that, a lot of pain started coming into my being, like a lot of head pressure, a lot of resistance started coming up. And that's when I felt so like desperate that I finally booked a session with my teacher, Craig Holiday. And this was the major void that led me to Craig Holiday. And in that initial session, he asked me about, my connection to God. He spoke to me very deeply about what it means to be a divine conduit. And I know I've shared all this before, but it's very important for this question that I share it again. And after that session, this was the time when I finally, for the first time, connected deeply to prayer, connected deeply to asking the Divine Mother to live through me as me, to use me as a conduit to anchor her love, her peace, and her joy through me, to bring her wisdom through me. This is when I opened myself up to asking God, to asking the universe to help me to surrender my personal and egoic desires to them. Like this was a time when I was so desperate, right? I was in the void. I didn't know what the hell to do. I finally connected to Craig Holiday, and I feel like I connected to his grace and to his movement, to his consciousness. And it's like my stream of consciousness linked up with his, and he is and was so deep into the movement of allowing something greater to live through him. You know, if you ever talk to Craig Holiday, you can feel in his essence that he has surrendered his life to the divine, to being a divine conduit. And so something in that connection brought that forward in me. And I remember like 2 days after that, or after that connection, I went out and I just had this very deep and sacred and devoted and powerful prayer to these beautiful trees in Portland, Oregon, just asking them for help and guidance and really calling in the divine to my being and asking the divine to live through me and like, hey, I give up. This is your life. I surrender my life to you, Divine Mother. Just giving her myself, you know, all of me. And shortly after that, maybe a couple days after that, boom, Kundalini Diaries was online, and I was like lightning was coming through my hands as I was writing my first blog post, and I knew it was like, this is it. This is my Dharma, sharing my story, sharing my experiences. You know, I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to share, like, to be a speaker. But I'd always get so blocked because I would feel like I had nothing to write about, nothing to share. And it's like Kundalini came into my life, awakening came into my life. And now it's like I have so much to share. It's like no more, there's no more of that block of I don't know, I have nothing to talk about. Like once we go through this profound transformation that all of you are going through, if you're watching this channel, you're going through a profound transformation. Once we start going through this transformation, you know, it's like there's so much that we can share, and it doesn't have to be through speaking or writing. It can be through whatever resonates with you, whatever that movement is. Maybe it's for, I know a lot of my clients it's song, some of my clients it's painting, some of them it is teaching. Some of my clients it's actually allowing this grace to flow through, and when it comes to creating and building a family. So that's the movement that shifted me, into this path of sharing my experiences with you guys, what's helped me, and then connecting with you all in sessions. So that was the major void. And I've had voids before that and after that, but that was the big one that led me to my Dharma. And it's like once we know what our Dharma is, our mission is, the voids have a different flavor to them because we already know what we're here to do, right? But it's that void that we go through right before we shift into knowing what we're here to do. That's the big void, and that can be the most frustrating and painful void of all by far. But that's the gift. It's so frustrating and painful because it forces you to surrender into who you truly are and what you're here to do as a light worker, as a starseed. So know that the pain you're feeling, it's a gift because it's leading you to where you want to go. It's like you put that signal out, I want to know my Dharma, I want to know my mission. So life brings you exactly the feelings and sensations you need to experience to surrender these parts of you that are in resistance to who you really are and what you're here to do. So those parts of you are being surrendered. I would recommend working with maybe a great teacher, or maybe even just a really good teacher, or guide, or maybe it could be someone you resonate with on a friend level, or a mentor, or just someone who you feel is surrendered to allowing something greater to flow through them. And just in connecting with them and their, you could say their vibration or their presence, it can really help you to bring that forward in yourself. That's what really started helping me shift. And then trusting how the divine speaks to you. Trusting, you know, the divine might whisper to us. It might be this silent voice, but it's this powerful voice that comes from deep within that says, do this scary thing that's going to freak your ego out, that you're going to be worried that, oh, am I going to be rejected? Are people not going to, you know, that's what I went through when I first started sharing Kundalini Diaries. I had all these thoughts. Like, oh my God, are my friends from high school and college going to read this? They're going to think, Matt's really, he's lost it. And in a way I have, but like in a very good and liberating way, right? And so all of those things are going to come up when we start listening to that inner voice, that divine voice within us. But that's part of the path. That's part of the Dharma. That's how listening and following your Dharma transforms you. It brings up all these fears these old conditionings, these old beliefs, limiting beliefs about yourself, and you get to walk your path and just see how they're burned away or transformed or integrated. Like every step you take, every video I shot that I was scared to shoot, I felt a little freer after. Every blog post that I published that I wasn't sure, is that good enough? Is that going to help anybody? Am I just crazy? Every time I posted one of those, I felt a little bit more expanded and a little bit lighter. And like another old heavy belief was let go of. And so this is the beauty of our Dharma. And discovering our Dharma and then trusting it. And I can feel in your questions, Pensieri, you comment a lot, and I can always, which I always love hearing from you, but I can feel like in your field that you kind of know, there's something in you that knows, that I feel a depth in you through your questions that there's, you can hear this voice within you, but it's like something else in you is asking for permission. I sense with you. Like you need permission almost to do the thing you're scared to do that the divine is asking you to do. And consider this your permission granted. Do that thing. I know it's scary. I know it's difficult. And I know there's tons of resistance there at times. But when we just do it anyways, that's when we experience like a tremendous amount of growth. It's like it's like it's like in our cells change. Like we change at our core. It's like we become a different person through listening to that calling. And I feel in you that that you're hearing this calling might be getting louder and louder for you. And that's why the resistance becomes more and more painful, because there's this path, there's this mission waiting for you to just grab a hold of it. And for a lot of us, that means, we might have to upset somebody or risk, being the crazy one, or the one who, a lot of people might look at our Dharma and that path as like, whoa, they're crazy. That's so irrational. There's no way it's going to work out for them. Or a lot of those egoic doubts might surface. But we just do it anyways, and we trust. And we know that by giving our life to the divine, that it's not going to lead us astray. The divine will never lead us astray. Yes, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be massive hills to climb that are going to be super exhausting, and you're going to want to give up. And there's going to be the appropriate amount of challenge to help you transform and to help you start to live from your highest place. But just know, like, when you're at your evolutionary edge, that's the place where you feel fulfilled. That's the place where you feel truly connected and in union with God. It's at your evolutionary edge. This is where you want to live at. And every time we're kind of resisting living at our evolutionary edge, we're going to feel that pain of not being as close to God as we could be. Because if we're not at our evolutionary edge, then we're not as close to God as we could be. And so I hope that this is helpful for you. I hope that this helps you, Pensieri. It's really just about surrender, and it's about asking for help, calling in these greater energies, this greater intelligence. And then when you do that, doing the hardest part, which is acting on the inspiration that comes forward. Because if you do surrender, and if you do open yourself to something greater, inspiration will come to you. The truth of your Dharma and why you're here will arrive in your consciousness. But then you have to meet that halfway, and you have to take that action. And once you do, you will never look back, and you will be so happy that you did. Because everything in your life begins to change, and you feel the God within you on a whole new level. And so I hope this video helps you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. And if this content resonates with you, if this content helps you and you would like to support my journey as I stand on my own 2 feet for the first time with this heart-centered business that's been created through me, I will put a donation link below, and I will also put a link below if you would like to connect with me in a session. So thank you all so much for watching. Namaste.